to my daughter Eve, you will always be known as the first lady of mankind since I formed you from the first man, Adam. Did you know that before I gave you flesh, I gave you a spirit and it looked like me? Remember Genesis 1:27. So Yah created man in his own image. In the image and likeness of Yah, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Don't you ever forget that you should look like me in character first. I came to you before I introduced you to Adam. Now that you know who you belong to, let me introduce you to my son Adam. In Genesis 2:21-25, it states, "And Yah caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and while he slept, he took one of his ribs, or a part of his side, and closed up the place with flesh. And the rib or part of his side which Yah had taken from the man, he built up and made into a woman, and he brought her to the man. Then Adam said, 'This creature is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of a man. Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother, and shall become united and cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh.' And the man and his wife were both naked, and were not embarrassed or ashamed in each other's presence." So let's talk about it. Number 1, I made you from Adam without his input. I created you from his rib, not his vertebrae. My original intent, a divine purpose, was that the two of you would be equal and walk side by side with each other, meaning you were supposed to help him to take care of all of my creation. Number 2, I brought you to Adam. I didn't make him go wandering around the garden looking for you. You are my daughter, the bride, and I, your father, Yah, guided you down the aisles of the garden to pass you to your groom Adam, so that he could take care of you. Number 3, the only parent that you and Adam had known was me, your father, Yah. Have you considered why it stated, "Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother, and shall become united and cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh"? Genesis 2:24. It is because I, with divine foresight, knew the end from the beginning, and I knew the issues that could take place if a house is divided because a man can't be the head of his home. Number 4, I was always to be the head of your marriage. I knew what was best for you, Eve, but you doubted my instructions by entertaining that serpent. Doubt means a feeling of uncertainty. What were you uncertain about? I said what I said, and you even repeated it to the serpent. Now the serpent was more subtle and crafty than any living creature of the field which Yah had made. And he, Satan, said to the woman, "Can it really be that Yah has said, 'You shall not eat from every tree of the garden'?" And the woman said to the serpent, "We may eat from the fruit of the trees of the garden, except the fruit from the tree which is in the middle of the garden. Yah has said, 'You shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die.' But the serpent said to the woman, 'You shall not surely die. For Yah knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like Yah, knowing the difference between good and evil, and blessing and calamity.'" Genesis 3:1-5. Satan is a liar. My word is truth. You then influenced my son Adam to doubt me by convincing him to touch the tree you both knew not to touch and eat the fruit. And when the woman saw that the tree was good, suitable, pleasant for food, and that it was delightful to look at, and a tree to be desired in order to make one wise, she took of its fruit and ate. And she gave some also to her husband, and he ate. Genesis 3:6. Then, instead of being accountable for your actions, you tried to hide. Didn't you remember that I created the heavens and the earth, and that I see everything, even your thoughts? And they heard the sound of Yah walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yah among the trees of the garden. Genesis 3:8. Eve, why did you blame the serpent when I gave you clear instructions? How did you even end up by the tree? And Yah said to the woman, what is this you have done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled, cheated, outwitted, and deceived me, and I ate. Genesis 3:13. Because I am a just father, here is your punishment. To the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your grief and your suffering in pregnancy and the pangs of childbearing with spasms of distress. You will bring forth children. Yet your desire and your craving will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. Genesis 3:16. Because of your disobedience, I will no longer allow you to have a smooth pregnancy, labor, or delivery. Even though you know how distressing this process will be, you will still want to be intimate with your husband. Because you failed to make a correct decision, I will put your husband in charge of making decisions for you. Since you failed to follow my rules, you and your husband Adam must leave my garden and never return. So Yah drove the man out, and at the east of the Garden of Eden, he permanently stationed the cherubim and the sword with the flashing blade, which turned round and round in every direction to protect and guard the way, entrance, access to the tree of life. Genesis 3:24. Because you assisted in bringing sin into the world, you shall have a first-hand account of what that looks like through your descendants. Now the man Adam knew Eve as his wife, and she conceived and gave birth to Cain. And she said, I have obtained a man, baby boy, son, with the help of Yah. And later she gave birth to his brother Abel. Now Abel kept the flocks of sheep and goats, but Cain cultivated the ground. And in the course of time, Cain brought to Yah an offering of the fruit of the ground. But Abel brought an offering of the finest firstborn of his flock in the fat portions. And Yah had regard for Abel and for his offering. But for Cain and his offering, he had no respect. So Cain became extremely angry, indignant, and he looked annoyed and hostile. And Yah said to Cain, why are you so angry? And why do you look annoyed? If you do well, believe in me, in doing what is acceptable and pleasing to me, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, but ignore my instruction, sin crouches at your door. Its desire is for you, to overpower you, but you must master it. Cain talked with Abel his brother about what Yah had said. And when they were alone, working in the field, Cain attacked Abel his brother and killed him. Genesis 4:1-8. My daughter Eve, I made life easy for you. I gave you everything you needed and wanted in abundance, but you chose the forbidden tree. History will remember you as a villain, but you are still my daughter. I will send a Savior to correct your wrongs. Your father, Yah.